Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up. First shot, strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit.
And the players exchanging a few friendly words prior to tip-off, the getting-to-know-you stage of the proceedings. Well, the weekend has officially begun, and we welcome you to this 2K Sports presentation of NBA basketball, along with Steve Kerr. Here's Lee. Outside Rondo. Pass to Green. Back to Rondo. Dean. Outside Rondo. Green dishes to Rondo. 6 to shoot. Gets it to go. D's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Look, Kevin, here's what the Celtics head coach had to say when we spoke just a few minutes ago. This is the first game of the season against one of the more seasoned defensive teams in the league, and he said, we've got to be patient offensively and not just settle for the shots they'll allow. It's all about making the simple pass, the extra pass, and moving off the ball. Basketball 101, guys. Back to you.
Thanks for that report, Doris. Guys, do you think we'll see game planning early on that might end up developing through the game as far as getting through this very tough defense?
I think there's almost no question that what they're doing offensively at the beginning of the game will change several times before we're finished.
Well, that's what the defense they're facing forces you to do. You have to be ready to adjust and make some changes. It's too complex a defensive scheme to just attack it one set way.
And then George with the jam.
Even when they're down, he's still looking to do the spectacular. And he pulled it off.
Well, maybe this is the best time to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, now's when they need a little spark anyway.
Rondo passes to D. Offline with his 3. Pacers trail by 13. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. From deep, George. Good. The assist goes to Hill. And it's 7 points for Paul George. Boston's gone 3 of 6, 50% from deep so far tonight. D, defended by George. The shot's good from D.
I couldn't have dreamt of a much better start than what they've had here today.
Everything's worked, especially offensively, and what a lead they have already to show for it.
They get it back. Stoa. And goaltending is going to be the call. So they get the basket there anyway.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Can you hear the crowd kind of murmuring? I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting them have it.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Celtics.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively, they're causing turnovers.
So it's the Pacers now. It's a 16-point game. It's blocked, but they get it back. He kicks to Hill. Back to George. Another shot. Here's Scola. And another shot. And he connects with the jumper. Scola's got his second basket of the night.
Well, the defense just looked a little lazy on the glass there.
Yeah, nobody boxing out. That's inexcusable.
Here's D. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Ran his man straight into that screen to open the lane up for the hoop.
He's made a name for himself in the league as being one of the best undersized fours out there, guys. And Louis Scola can go up against somebody who's much taller than him and still find a way to pump fake his way to a hoop.
And it's Bradley with the rebound.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
In Scola, Steve, at 6'9", not the biggest or most athletic player, certainly on the floor, but he does a good job on the glass. He seems to be a very solid player.
And he plays very physically, on defense. He's not afraid to get into you. Probably struggles to defend the more athletic players, but I think Scola is one of the smarter, savvier players we have in this league.
Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Knicks in New York.
And it's hard to point out anything that they did well in that loss. I mean, the game never got out of hand, but they were pretty shaky across the board.
And Steve, you know how optimistic and positive I am, and I had a tough time finding anything positive either. I mean, my goodness, they did keep it somewhat close. I guess that's the best I can say at this point.
Well, what's the old saying? If you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything at all.
Well, Indiana's success last season was built around its defensive prowess, and they usually would set the tone at the start of the game. They were one of the best in the league at allowing the fewest first quarter points.
Shot clock at 5. Blocked.
I don't know if it's just me, but he's looked a step slow since the start of the quarter, and his shooting has really suffered.
A chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Yes, gentlemen, D in their last game against the Spurs put forth a nice effort. He ended with 14 points and added a couple of rebounds with that. Overall, just an incredible bonus for his team as he made a big impact coming off the bench.
Doris, thank you. Well, guys, he made play after play in that game.
Well, as he often does, Kevin, and we'll see. Maybe he'll explode again tonight because the momentum that he took away from that game, he's got to be feeling confident.
Well, I don't know if it'll carry over, but clearly the fact that you have a high-level performance in your recent memory bank has to do you some good. And like you said, Steve, we'll find out tonight whether it continues.
Going back to the Pacers once more, you knew they wanted to emphasize defense each game, and Steve, they would always come out and get right in the offensive player's face to start the game.
And they allowed the fewest first quarter points of any team in the league last year, Kevin. That's a great way to kind of set the tempo, set the tone in a ball game. And the Pacers were able to establish that defense right away.
Ranger covering. Tries it from 19. That's good. 14 points for D.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Outside Hill. Now the dish to Granger. Granger gets a screen from Hibbert. Fires the 3. No good. Now the Celtics take it the other way. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
And it was the role players in that game, Kevin, that really led the charge. The guys who normally don't score a lot, they came in and really contributed.
A total team performance, Steve, the kind you need if you're going to win on the opponent's home floor.
West kicks to Hill. Now the feed to Granger. Lets a floater go, and the shot is good. Granger's got 6 points. Celtics leading by 18. Passes it to D. He feeds it to Bass. Celtics passing it around. Bradley passes to D. Off target from outside.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Well, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. And his teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking at this result so far.
Ranger covering. Here's D. But they'll get another chance. Puts up a 3. Can't hit. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair.
Now, presented by Sprint.